I quit my job at Riverside Nursing Home 3 months ago. I still can't sleep through the night. My name is Amy. I'm a nursing assistant. Or I was. I needed the money, so I took the night shift. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. The pay was good. Really good. That should have been my first warning. Riverside is a small facility. Only 20 residents. Most of them have dementia or Alzheimer's. They're in their 80s and 90s. Sweet people during the day. But nights were different. My supervisor was a woman named Helen. She'd worked there for 15 years. On my first night, she gave me the tour and one rule. Room 237 is always locked, she said. Don't ever open it. Don't even knock on the door. I asked why. She just shook her head. Some rules exist for good reasons. That's all you need to know. The first week was normal. I'd do my rounds. Check on residents. Help them to the bathroom. Give them water. Standard stuff. Room 237 stayed locked. I barely thought about it. But then I started noticing things. Every night around 2 a.m., I'd hear singing. Faint. Coming from the end of the hallway. A woman's voice. Old-fashioned melody. Like a lullaby from the 1950s. I asked Helen about it the next night. She went pale. You heard it? She asked. Yeah. Is someone's TV on? She shook her head. No TVs are on at night. We turn them all off at 10. Then who's singing? Helen looked at me for a long moment. Just ignore it. Do your rounds. Don't investigate. Understand? I nodded. But of course, I didn't listen. The next night, the singing started again. 2 a.m. exactly. I followed the sound down the hallway. It was coming from room 237. I stood outside the door. The singing was clearer now. A woman's voice. Elderly. Singing about birds and sunshine. But there was something wrong with it. Something hollow. Like the voice was coming from very far away. I tried the handle. Locked. Just like Helen said. But then I heard something else. Under the singing. Scratching. Like fingernails on wood. Frantic. Desperate. I stepped back from the door. The singing stopped. Complete silence. Then I heard a voice. Different from the singing. Hoarse. Broken. Help me. My blood went cold. I ran back to the nurses' station. Didn't sleep the rest of that shift. I told Helen what I heard. She closed her eyes. Took a deep breath. I'm going to tell you something, she said. And then we're never going to talk about it again. She told me about Eleanor Marsh, a resident who lived in room 237 15 years ago. She had late-stage dementia. Violent episodes. She'd attack staff. Scratch and bite. One night, Eleanor disappeared from her room. The staff searched everywhere. Found her 3 hours later in the basement. Hypothermic. Barely alive. They brought her back to her room. But she was never the same. She stopped eating. Stopped speaking. Just sat in her wheelchair, staring at the walls. 2 weeks later, she died. Heart failure. Natural causes. They locked her room after that. No one wanted to clean it. No one wanted to go in. Because the night after Eleanor died, staff started hearing things. Singing. Scratching. Her voice calling for help. But that's impossible, I said. She's dead. The room is empty. Helen looked at me. Is it? I should have quit right then. But I needed the money. So I stayed. I avoided that hallway. Wore headphones during my rounds. Tried to ignore everything. But 2 weeks later, I found a key. It was on the floor outside room 237. old brass, with a tag that said, 237 Master. I picked it up. I knew I shouldn't, but I had to know. I had to see for myself. I waited until 3 a.m., made sure all the other residents were asleep. Then I went to the door. The singing started the moment I touched the handle, louder than ever. But I pushed the key into the lock. It turned easily. I opened the door. The room was exactly as Helen described. Frozen in time. Hospital bed. Wheelchair in the corner. Curtains drawn. Everything covered in a thick layer of dust. Except the wheelchair. That was clean. And it was facing the door. Like it had been waiting for me. I heard breathing behind me. Wet. Rattling. The sound someone makes when their lungs are failing. I turned around. The hallway was empty. But when I turned back to the room, the wheelchair had moved. It was closer now. Just a few feet away. And there was something in it. A shape. Translucent. Like looking through frosted glass. An old woman. Thin. Withered. Her mouth was open. Singing that same lullaby. But her eyes were different. They were clear. Focused. Staring directly at me. She stopped singing. Raised one skeletal hand. And pointed at me. Stay, she whispered. Everyone leaves. But you'll stay. You'll keep me company. The door slammed shut behind me. I spun around. Grabbed the handle. It wouldn't turn. I was locked in. The wheelchair rolled closer. I could smell her now. Decay. Sickness. Death. Please, I begged. Let me out. Eleanor tilted her head. Like she was considering it. Then she smiled. A terrible, empty smile. I was alone, she said. So cold. So alone in the dark. You'll understand soon. The lights went out. I screamed. Pounded on the door. The wheelchair kept rolling. Closer. Closer. I felt hands on my shoulders. Cold. Bone thin. Gripping me. Then suddenly, the lights came back on. The door flew open. Helen was standing there. She grabbed my arm and pulled me out. She slammed the door. Locked it. And slapped me across the face. I told you never to open that door, she screamed. I was shaking. Crying. I looked down at my shoulders. There were marks. Bruises. In the shape of handprints. Helen saw them too. Her face went white. You need to leave, she said. Right now. Don't come back. I didn't argue. I grabbed my things and ran. I reported everything to the state health department. They investigated. Found nothing unusual. Room 237 was empty. Just an old storage room, they said. But I know what I saw. What I felt. Riverside is still operating. They're hiring for night shift. The pay is even better now. I saw the job posting last week. It mentioned something at the bottom. Must be comfortable working in quiet environments. Room 237 access not required. They know. They've always known. And they're still looking for someone to work those halls. To ignore the singing. To stay away from that door. I hope whoever takes the job is smarter than I was. Because Eleanor is still there. Still waiting. Still so very, very alone. And she's desperate for company.